Spanish 1, big day. We're stepping back from the present. We're going back into the past, and we're getting our first past tense, the preterit, or saying in Spanish, el pretérito. Can you feel that accent? Right? There it is, el pretérito. This is our first past tense. Look at that accent, feel good about it. We're going to use a lot of accents when we're talking about the pretérito. All right? The tenses affect the verbs. Okay? We're going to be working on putting the verbs into the past tense, right? You know 3 different categories of verbs. You have your ARs, your ERs, and your IRs. And as we get set to put these verbs into the past tense, keep in mind that ERs and IRs are going to work the same exact way, right? They're friends hanging out together, but AR all by himself, right? Lonely, okay? So that AR verbs don't get too lonely, we're going to start with them, right? Like the best AR verb we've ever learned, right? Hablar, okay? For instance, in the present, we're saying that I speak, I am speaking, I do speak, hablo. Okay, so that's the first verb that we're going to deal with, right? We need to also deal with some ER verbs and some IR verbs. So, ER verb, comer, yo como, I eat, I do eat, I am eating, right? Or an IR verb, escribir, okay? To write. Escribo, I am writing, I do write, I write, okay? Now, normally, every night, okay, I talk, yo hablo, right? I eat, yo como, and I write something. I write a little something, yo escribo. Okay? And last night was no difference, because last night, for instance, I spoke. I spoke with someone. I talked with someone. Yo hablé. Yo hablé. Okay? Accent on that E. Yo hablé. You can feel it. You can feel where the emphasis drops. Right? I also ate something. Yo comí. Right? I got an I with an accent on it. Okay? Yo comí. I ate. Okay? And of course, I wrote a little something. Right? Yo escribí. Right? Do you see that accent? It's on there. You got to feel it. Escribí. Yo escribí. Okay? Now, we know from looking at these that with a verb like hablar, an AR verb, I'm going to have a new set of endings. Those endings are haste, o, amos, aron. How many accents? How many written accents do you need to worry about? These 2 right here, A and O. Right? Very important that we hear that difference. Even more important that we see that difference. Okay? Comer and escribir, ER verb and IR verb, they've just got one set of endings that they keep in common. Iste, yo, imos, hierron, right? How many written accents to worry about? Again, just the yo or the el, ella, usted form. Okay, 2 written accents to make sure that you're keeping track of. Expressions that let us know when to use the past tense, right? Something like, for instance, yesterday, ayer. Right? You see an ayer, you hear an ayer, you got to be thinking, that happened in the past. I need to maybe use my pretérito. Right? Another word could be last night, anoche. Right? You see noche in there? Right? Anoche. Right? Something that happened last night. Well, that's also going to trigger a past tense. Right? What if it was last year? El año pasado. That should almost start to make sense to you. You've got year, the year, last, the year that's passed by, el año pasado, or la semana pasada. And you're already sharp enough to know that, well, this is pasado because what? El año is masculine, right? Whereas la semana is feminine, it's going to be la semana pasada, right? Last week. Okay. So, a couple of examples, like what if somebody comes up to you and says, hey, last night, anoche, con quién hablaste? Who'd you talk with last night? With whom did you speak last night? Con quién hablaste? Right? 2 form of the verb hablar, AR verb, okay, haste, con quién hablaste? And you would, of course, answer, right? Well, I spoke with my mom, right? Hablé con mi mamá. Hablé. You hear that accent? You feel that accent? Hablé. Hablé con mi mamá. That accent's right there waiting for you. Okay? Well, what'd you eat last night? Anoche, ¿qué comiste? ¿Qué comiste anoche? What'd you eat? Right? And you could say very easily, yo comí una ensalada. Comí. Right? Putting that accent in there, making sure that we feel it. Okay? And of course, you wrote something, but how many pages did you write? ¿Cuántas páginas escribiste? ¿Cuántas páginas escribiste anoche? Right? And you could answer, well, I wrote 3 pages. Think about it. Okay? Escribiste, yo escribí, right? Escribí 3 páginas, right? This is a lot of information. The preterit's a little bit tough because it's requiring you to shift from, you knew this other set of endings in the present, and now you've got to adopt this whole other set of endings in the preterit. So take a look at your book, page 206, right? Think about coming in for a chat about this, 7:20 in the morning, right? I'm here ready to go. But make sure that you are so very clear on your endings like these. You know, those going with AR verbs or ER verbs, right? Those are going with AR verbs. E, haste, o, accents on those, okay? amos and arron. And of course, you've noticed that nosotros, well, that amos doesn't change. Nosotros is always a troublemaker. Okay? And then these, for your ERs and your IR verbs, iste, yo, imos, and hierron. Practice this one, hierron. There's a lot of vowels in there. It's always a big issue. Hierron. Say it with me. Hierron. Hierron. Very nice. All right. Mucha suerte, muchas gracias, y hasta muy pronto.